Welcome to Wannabe Clutter-free, formerly Wannabe Minimalist, the podcast for busy families who are tired of the chaos, fed up with being overwhelmed, and ready to enjoy life again. Each week, we talk about how to let go of the clutter so that you can focus on the things that actually matter. And it's not just physical clutter. We talk about the mental and emotional stuff too, because if it's holding you back, it's time to ditch it. I share what I've done in my own life to declutter, organize, and calm the chaos, but you won't just hear it from me. There are amazing guests too. It's practical, doable, and simple for those of us that want to be clutter-free. Hey everyone, today I want to talk to you about something that's helping me show up as my best self, hormone harmony. For any woman navigating the ups and downs of hormonal change, whether you're in your 20s or past 40, this is something you'll want to hear about. I started taking Hormone Harmony because lately I've been feeling off balance, I was snacking more, feeling sluggish, and just not like myself. I was pretty flat. And that's when I found Hormone Harmony. It's been a game changer. It's not only for those of us that might be hitting perimenopause, but for any woman who feels like their hormones could be more in sync. Did you know a bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds? Yep, it's that popular. And it's not hard to see why. This wonderful supplement is packed with adaptogens. These are science-backed herbal extracts that help your body adapt to stress and minimize those annoying hormonal fluctuations. So whether it's hot flashes, night sweats, mood swings, or just feeling perpetually tired, Hormone Harmony addresses all of these symptoms gently and effectively. And for those navigating the tricky waters of perimenopause, it is nothing short of a lifesaver. The company behind Hormone Harmony, Happy Mammoth, is all about making women's health simpler and safer. Their products are sugar-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, non-GMO, and third-party tested to ensure the highest quality. And the best part? Women are reporting they feel like themselves again. If you're ready to start feeling like yourself again, I've got great news. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code WANNA at checkout. That's happymammoth.com with the code WANNA, W-A-N-N-A, for 15% off your first order. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. Well, hey there, welcome back to the show. I'm Deanna Yates, and you are listening to episode 195 of the Wannabe Clutter-free podcast. On today's episode, I'm chatting with Janet M. Taylor about getting organized in our homes. I know so many people want the end product of a beautifully organized space, and Janet will help us look at where to start, what to do if we're overwhelmed, and how to declutter and organize at the same time. But before we get into our conversation, I want to say thank you so much for joining me today. I am so grateful that you are here. If you like what you hear today, there are a few ways you can help the show if you're interested. One, you can share it with a friend, and that also helps you get an accountability partner with you on your decluttering and organizing journey, so I love that option. Number two, you can leave a rating and a review for this show. You can do that pretty much on any podcast platform you listen to. On Apple, you can leave up to a 5-star rating and leave a review for the show. And on Spotify, you can also leave up to a 5-star rating and you can comment on the specific episode. You can also find this guest episode over on YouTube, where you can subscribe and comment there as well. You can also comment and share the show on social media. So I'm on Instagram at Wannabe Clutter-free, and I would love to hear your thoughts about the episode over there. And finally, you can become a sponsor of the show for as little as $5 per month and get all of the episodes ad-free. I will leave links in the show notes for you, and you can go to wannabeclutterfree.com/195 for more information. But that's enough housekeeping. Let's learn more about my guest this week. Janet leveraged her innate organizational prowess in 1994 when she founded Totally Organized LLC. She continues to wear multiple hats, serving as the host and producer of the acclaimed Got Clutter, Get Organized podcast, ranked number 1 in organizing and decluttering. Additionally, she contributes her expertise to Pierce College as a valued member of the advisory board for the business division. Her business earned recognition as one of Philadelphia's top minority firms by the Philadelphia Business Journal for 3 consecutive years, and she was even titled the Clutter-Free Queen when she appeared on The Rachel Ray Show. In 2020, Janet's own impeccably organized home was showcased on Apartment Therapy. Give this episode a listen, and when you're done, head over to wannabeclutterfree.com/195 to get the show notes for today's episode with links to Janet's website and her resources. Again, you can find it all at wannabeclutterfree.com/the number 195. And now let's get to our conversation. Well, hi, Janet. Welcome to Wannabe Clutter Free. How you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. I'm always so excited to be here with you.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you. We just got off of the Chaos to Calm Summit recently, and it is just so nice to be connecting again. And so I'm excited. So, just in case anybody missed the summit or they haven't heard us talk before, can you tell us about yourself and what you do?
So, I am what they call a professional organizer. I like to really call myself a life organizer. And I basically go into people's homes, their offices, help them manage their time, and also help them be strategic with whatever goals they've set for themselves in order just to cross things off of their list. And to do that by saving them time, energy, and a lot of times money.
Ugh, I love that. The time, the energy, and the money, right? That's really what it all boils down to. So, how did you get into professional organizing?
So I was laid off. I was working for a company. I was laid off, and I decided I wanted to really be more in control of my finances as well as my future. So I came across an article of a woman who was doing organizing. She was speaking about it in a corporate setting. I reached out to local organizers, reached out to the National Association, and that's how I got started.
Huh, fascinating. What were you doing before?
I was doing customer service. I was doing organizing transportation for senior citizens. Whether they wanted to go to the market, they had to go to a doctor's appointment, I would kind of make those arrangements for them.
Interesting. Okay, very cool. What is one of your favorite things about being a professional organizer?
I think when they really the stress release, when people get their space organized, when they declutter, get rid of all the unnecessary, and they really begin to utilize the systems. And it's sort of like a lot of times it's that weight that's just lifted off of their shoulder because one, they no longer have all that they're surrounded by all that chaos and clutter, but also they feel like this is something I can do. I can manage this. I can maintain this. And the smiles on their faces too.
Yeah. Yeah. I love what you said earlier too about being a life organizer, not just a professional organizer, but a life organizer. And I just love the idea that yes, it is more about what we bring to the entire life process, right? All the different systems, like you were saying, all the systems you set in place and all that kind of stuff. Can you tell us about how do you see the difference between decluttering and organizing? Because I know they're very different, but I think people lump them together a lot. So, what do you see the differences between the two?
So the difference is decluttering is more like the first phase. It's where you come in and you just get rid of the things that you're not using, no longer working, just taking up valuable real estate in your home or in your office. And once you really let go, and it's about letting go, then you create a space where you can organize all the things that you and your family use and just create systems so that you can find things the first time that you look and you're not frustrated because you're wasting time and energy looking for scissors or a tool, etc.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah. So, decluttering, right? Clearing out, getting rid of the stuff that you don't need. So, you're not organizing the chaos. You're not organizing the clutter and the stuff that is just getting in your way and causing those stress levels to go up. But we are then, once we get rid of that stuff, then we get to organize the stuff that we're keeping. Now, do you recommend people do a big declutter first, or can they do them simultaneously? If they is there a way they can work together? Because I know everybody's really after that end goal of the organized space. And I think when there's a giant, your whole house is looming over you, you've got this huge project, it's something you haven't ever done before. And you're like, I don't want to spend all of my time decluttering. I want the pretty end goal. Is there any way that they can do them simultaneously or any tricks or tips for that?
And yes, you can do it simultaneously. And I would suggest that people just do it in smaller increments. For example, let's take luggage. It's getting a little warmer here. People are beginning to get travel. So go in and declutter the luggage. Get rid of the luggage that you no longer use and you no longer want. But then also set up a system for the luggage that you are going to keep, or maybe you are going to get a few new pieces. So that's how you can do it. You can categorize. I'm going to do the luggage. Or I know people who organize and decorate their houses seasonally. So you can just go by season, like, okay, I'm ending one season. So I'm going in and I'm really looking at the things that I haven't used this season. I probably haven't used in a couple of seasons, and get rid of those, but then also setting up all the things that you are going to use for your decor, and then also pull out whatever you want to use for the coming season.
Well, I will say I live in Southern California, so the seasonal decluttering thing is so different for me. I don't think I would know what to do with myself. Although I have lived where there have been seasons. I've lived in Chicago, I've lived in Germany. We've lived with lots of seasons. My husband's from Iowa. But that seems like a lot. But I get it. If it works for people, go for it. I definitely love the idea, though, of the incremental decluttering and organizing and doing little bits at a time. What I also love about that idea is the fact that you can learn along the way, right? We were just talking before this about learning through that summit, and it was the first one that I had done, and so it was just a whole learning process. And it's that way with everything in life, whether it's decluttering or trying something new in your business or trying a new activity or becoming a parent for the first time. Everything has these learning curves, and so if you can test the waters, right? Do a little bit, test it, see if it works for you, and then go back and tweak what doesn't work or use that what you learn on the next system you set up. I really love that approach. So, anything to add there?
And as you were talking, I was thinking one time a parent brought me in to organize a son. Well, actually both of her sons. And the youngest one, she was just a little frustrated because she said he wasn't having things organized, hanging things up, but also he was getting so much clothes from his older brother. It was just so overwhelming. And then when I started working with him, I realized he didn't have hangers. So I went to the mother and I said, why he isn't hanging things up? Because he really doesn't have any hangers. He's got a few, but he doesn't have enough for the volume he actually really is using on a regular basis, but also for the other things that he's getting from his older brother. And she's like, huh. And she's like, okay. So then she went out and then she bought some hangers. But sometimes, like you said, it's just looking at something a little bit differently, like, you know what, this is how I can fix it.
Oh my gosh, I love how simple that solution was, right? Sometimes we do overcomplicate things and we make it seem like it's this big giant problem when literally all the boy needed was some hangers. That's so interesting. Ah,
That's all he needed. That's all he was so happy. That's all he needed.
oh, and then he was able to take care of it himself. That's amazing. Oh, that's so fun. What about when someone, so we were just giving us an example of starting with luggage, which I think makes sense, and especially with where we are right now in the season. It's February when we're recording this. It'll come out in March. But again, it's that kind of spring breaks right around the corner. People are gonna go on vacation. So I like the luggage idea. Let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsors for today's episode. And when we come back, Janet and I will talk about where to start if you are overwhelmed by your home and ready to declutter and organize. Do you ever find yourself staring into your closet, feeling like you've got tons of clothes but nothing to wear? Well, I've discovered a fabulous solution that's perfect for us busy women: Armoire. Armoire offers high quality, unique brands tailored just for you. All it takes is a quick 5-minute style quiz, and voila, you get a personalized closet from which to choose. The best part, these stylish outfits are delivered straight to your door in just a couple of days. I just returned from a podcast conference, and Armoire saved the day when it came down to what to wear. I wore these super cute wide leg jeans from Paige to the day portion of the conference, and that night I wore cropped wide leg vegan leather pants and an asymmetrical striped sweater. I got compliments all night and had people mentioning my outfit the next day. Then I was able to simply send it back for something new. No clutter, no fuss, no special laundry. And it's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good too. Armoire is all about sustainable fashion, so you can stay trendy without the waste. Plus, it's women-founded and led, supporting women designers and aligning perfectly with our values of empowerment and community. Right now, my listeners can give Armoire a try and get up to 50% off their first month. That's up to $125 off. Just visit armoire.style/wanna. That's armoire.style, ARMOIRE.style/wanna to get up to 50% off your first month. And never worry about what to wear again. Try Armoire today.
I'm Margaret.
And I'm Amy.
And together we host the podcast, What Fresh Hell? Laughing in the Face of Motherhood.
Margaret, I would say you're sort of a where are my keys kind of mom.
Correct. Sometimes a where are my kids kind of mom. Well, you're Amy more of a we were supposed to leave 35 seconds ago, mom.
I mean, touche. In each episode of What Fresh Hell, we come at a topic from our usually completely opposite perspectives. I bring the research.
And I bring kind of the gimlet eye. Like, is that research really going to work, people?
And almost 10 million downloads later, we're still laughing.
We also talk to experts in the parenting field, plus parents with stories we can all learn from.
We make each other laugh, we challenge each other's assumptions, and we have what we think is the best parenting community on the internet.
Check out What Fresh Hell? Laughing in the Face of Motherhood wherever you listen to podcasts.
But if people are really overwhelmed in their home and they're ready for a change, right? I think people can be overwhelmed and not be ready for the work and the change that needs to take place. Because I think it's a big internal change that happens when you start to go through your clutter and your stuff. But where do you suggest they start if they are just like, okay, this is it. I'm ready. Let's do it.
So I would suggest a lot of times you really start sometimes in the area that's really causing you the most stress. And it could be like a small area. It could be every time you come in the house, you're tired of seeing the shoes all over the place. And it could be just something simple like, you know what, I'm going to get a shoe rack or they got now shoe cabinets and just put it there. Or it may be the entry closet, or it may be the family room. And every time somebody goes and gets one of the accessories to the equipment, they just pull everything out. So whatever sometimes is just causing you stress, maybe start on that small area, focus on that, and just move to the next. So that one, when you go into the family room, those accessories will be organized and accessible. And actually, if you need a battery drawer, it'll be right there. Or when you just come home, whether you are managing the home and you just come home, or either when you're working and you come home, the shoes, they're in some type of system. So it's always just starting small and not necessarily, even when you're looking at the big spaces like the garages and the basements and the attic, sometimes again, it's good to just do a little bit and maybe just start with just decluttering, getting rid of the boxes that you may have just put in there just to put aside, but you've already put the furniture together and you don't need them anymore. Or looking at something like, you know what, that tricycle's been here for a while. He's not going to use a tricycle anymore because now he's got his own car. He or her. So, so sometimes it's just really like looking and thinking about things.
Oh, oh my God. I love that. He's not going to use a tricycle anymore. He's got his own car.
Yes, he's not going to use it anymore. And sometimes you have to really look. And I remember I had a conversation with a client where they were keeping the high chair from their daughter. Now, mind you, their daughter was living in New York. Had been living there for years. She's like, "Well, Janet, just in case the grandkids come." And I said, "And I understand that." I says, "But also I understand this is a metal high chair. So right now those aren't really safe." And I said, "Also, just looking at your lifestyle and the way you and your husband operate, I know once the grandchildren come, you're going to run out and buy all new things." And she said, "You know what? That's right." So then they were able to let that go.
Yeah. Yeah, really getting to that underlying, like, what is your modus operandi, right? Like, are you really going to be the person that's okay using the things from 20, 30 years ago? Or are you going to be that person that goes out and buys new? And no judgment here either way. I definitely am a big proponent of secondhand and reusing when you can. But again, when safety is an issue, absolutely not. So safety always comes first. But you said a word there a couple times of system. What is a system to you? What is like if someone hasn't tried putting together a system as we keep talking about, what does that mean?
A system means being able to find something the first time. For example, a woman came to me and she said, "Janet," she said, "my husband just needs to change. He just needs to get organized." And I was like, "Okay, so what's the issue?" And she said, "He comes home, he just throws his hat here and his keys there." And I said, "Well," I said, "a lot of times we have to look at how our routines and our habits." I said, "So possibly." a hook for his hat, a hook for his keys. That's a system. It's simple, but she said that may work. And then someone else shared with me that their college student was going in and out because he was going to college locally. And even though she had something in place, he still didn't feel like he had something for his backpack. So he was always putting it on the floor, but then realizing that, you know what, just a simple hook would help him. Or sometimes just creating a system so that maybe you can your system for your utensils. Some people like them in the drawer. I'm one of those people. I know, not that I'm a cook, but I like my utensils right on top in a cute little container. So when I'm cooking, stirring things, I can just grab things. So it's really creating things that'll help you function, help you be less stressful, and help you feel like you've got more control over your space, your things, but also your life.
Mm. And what you said there too is so brilliant. Like whatever works for you, right? I'm a drawer person. I don't want to see it on my counter. I do cook every day, and so I want to go into a clean slate. I want to start with a blank so that it's so much easier for me to say like, okay, now I get out all my stuff and I put it here and I can do all the stuff. So it's just interesting, right? Everybody works differently. And that's why it is hard to say there's one blanket. But I like what you have said about where to start is somewhere that it's wherever's stressing you out, right? Whatever's creating the most friction for you on a daily basis, start there. I've also heard you say, and I've said this too, so I think it's a really great tip about going around your house and writing down. I call it my running to do list because sometimes I just get so overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my gosh, and there's so much going on in my brain. Everyone listening to this, like, please know you are not alone. Like, Janet and I do what we do probably because we need it. Well, I will say I need it maybe a little bit more than the average person.
I needed to. I needed to because what I do is when there's little things, I have a cute little basket. And when there's like little things that I need to take care of, I just go put them in the basket and I make a note on my list, like on Saturday, deal with the basket. And then I'll just sit down and I'll take time. Okay, do I need to put this away? Do I need to shred this? Do I need to file this away? So it's like, just like you said, it's like creating some type of system, some type of routine, or just a habit of just maintaining order because life is life. You're going to come home, you're going to be a little tired, you're going to have to make the food, maybe do the homework, walk the dog. There's so many things. And then it's just really just grabbing all this stuff that needs to go back and just having a habit and a routine to do that.
That's a fun system. I like that system. I do that for our daughter stuff because she likes to get stuff out, and then at the end of the night, there's like stuff everywhere, so I just put it in there, and then we deal with it on a regular basis. But I like that for me too, right? Having that for myself as well, and just yeah, creating those little systems as well. So, what do you do when you make that giant list? How does that list work for you? Because I've heard you talk about this, so I want to see if our systems are similar.
So I don't make the list too big because sometimes if the list gets too big, nothing gets done. I try to have like no more than maybe 3, but no more than 5 tops, things that I know I can do. But also what I do is the next step is I make sure I block out time to do it. Because I can have all the lists in the world, but if I don't make time to actually do what's on the list, then it doesn't get done. So that helps me. And then sometimes I take it a little step further depending on what it is. Maybe I have to call and just confirm something, maybe about my medical appointment, or maybe I have to take something to the cleaners, etc. So I'll make sure, like if I take something to the cleaners, put it by the door. If I have to make a call, I have a folder. My folders are listed by the days of the week. So I put that information in there. So when I start my day, I open the folder and there's all the different little things, pieces of paper, etc., that I need to cross off of my list. It'll help me cross items off my list.
Hmm. So great. Okay, blocking out the time. Another genius tip. Love that. Now, you were saying earlier, one of your clients coming to you and talking about her husband and how he was unorganized. And I hear that all the time. I definitely am a proponent of working on your stuff and yourself first. But let's say we've gotten to that point. We have started this process. We're committed. We're in, all in. Our families have seen us doing this. Do you have any additional tips for helping listeners get their family on board? Let's take one more quick pause, and then Janet will let us know her thoughts on getting your family on board with getting your home in order. You do not want to miss her advice here.
It was interesting you say that because she's a friend, but she's also a client. She shared with me that she realized that her clutter was not only impacting her, but it was actually really impacting everyone else. And I think that's what we have to get. It's like, wait a minute, if I don't put the scissors back, then what's going to happen? Somebody's going to be yelling, Mom, where are the scissors? And it's really just about showing that respect for each other so that I'm done with the scissors, I'm gonna put them back. So when the next person needs them, they can find them. So it's really about looking beyond ourselves and how is our stuff really impacting everybody. If I just come home and just throw my coat here, bag here, keys there, what's going to happen for the next person that comes through the door? Are they going to be able to sit down? Are they going to find the scissors? Can they find the screwdriver when they need it? Or whatever it is. So it's really looking at how is it impacting everybody else? And that can even filter over into our workspaces too, but we're talking about home stuff right now.
Hmm, that's super powerful looking at it with that lens. That's super great because, right, sometimes, and I'll put my hand up first. Sometimes it's easier for me to do things for other people than it is for myself. So if I have that lens on it of like, this is a way for me to care for my family, that is also going to make it a little bit easier to then remember to put the scissors back, to hang up the coat, to not put my purse on the floor, these kinds of things that can just happen if life is busy, right? You're rushing home from school and you've got to hop on a call or do something. Like it's really easy to do that. But if you just take the 10 extra seconds, it doesn't even take that long to just put things where they go. So that's really great.
And that is true. Yeah, because one woman shared that her and her husband, they have like a little mailbox key. So, she didn't put it back. She didn't put it back, and she said he was frustrated because he was trying to figure out where it was, tearing everything up in the house, and she was like, thought, "Wait a minute, I think I was the last one that had it." And then she realized, she said, "You know what? It was in my purse." She said, "So I had to apologize and go to him." She says, "But we always have it on a hook." She says, "But I didn't put it back on the hook." And she said, "I really saw how that my little action just impacted, just caused stress, frustration." He was like, "I can't find the key. Where could it be? It's a little key that it dropped behind something."
Yeah. Well, and so then too, also not getting so frustrated if your loved ones are in that cycle, right? Of not putting things back and not being respectful. And then maybe looking at it or having that conversation from that angle as well of like, hey, look, I know things are busy, but it's really helpful when the scissors go back so that I can find them or the kids can find them so that we don't have to have this 10-minute search for them when you knew exactly where they were, but we didn't want to bother you, or you were at work, or, something was going on. So, yeah, I just looking at it from those perspectives of how it actually impacts your life. Again, back to that life organizing and how that can make such a difference when you just take it back instead of blame and look at it from empathy or from a place of just like, okay, how can we work together? We are a team. Let's do this together. So, oh, so good, Janet. So, so good.
Thank you.
I have a personal question. What's your favorite space in your home and why?
It is definitely my bedroom. And the reason is because I feel like that's after I've gone out and done everything, organizing or just hanging out, it's a place where I can go and I can almost like recharge. I love it because of the way the sun comes in, it just brightens the whole room. And also, I tell people I love it because the way my dresser is, I can sit up and I can just see all the nice little things on my dresser. I don't have anything except for like my perfume bottles and a few other trinkets, but I just like that, and that place just like it's like give me a warm hug when I go in there at night. Makes me relax, makes me feel like I just usually by the time I just even just sit on the bed, I'm ready to just, like, go to sleep, but yeah, that's my favorite space.
Nice. Yeah, you were saying you're an early get ready, early wind down a person. I'm a little bit later, but I also think might just be a different life stage at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's a different life stage because it's just me. You got family. It's just me, so I'm like, "Yay." But I also get up real early too, so that's why.
I just do both.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you, it's different. It's a life stage. It's a life stage. It's a life stage.
Yeah. But I still get a decent amount of sleep. I'm like in bed by 10 and up by 5. So it's 7 hours. It's respectable. It's not my ideal. I'll get to 8 eventually, but
Well, for me, it's just usually a lot of time, it's just like the bed. It's like the bed. I'll read, I'll do this, I might watch. There's certain shows that just relax me because it's just really like a crafty kind of show. I always like to look at those shows where they're repairing something from the past and they just bring it to those are the kind of things that just relax me and bring me down at night. So yeah.
ooh, I like that. All right. I'll have to get your favorite shows after this. But where can listeners find you? I know they're going to listen to this and want to connect and find out more about you and learn more from you. So where can they do that?
They can do that by going to my website at janetmtaylor.com or they can follow me on Instagram. I am Janet the Organizer.
Love it. Love it. And my favorite way to end every episode, so before I let you go, is with rapid fire questions. I have 3 of them. And the first one is, what does clutter free mean to you?
It just means being able to enjoy my space. Being able to just, if I have a do nothing day, sit in a chair and enjoy it, seeing just all the beautiful things that I've loved and I've collected over the years with no clutter in the way.
Hmm. Number 2, what is making you happy right now or in this season of your life?
I think in this season of my life is the fact that I am 60 and I am just excited about I never thought at this point in my life there would be new opportunities and meeting new people like you. So that is really what's making me happy. And of course, I went out yesterday and I'm like, "Oh, it's time to pull out the sandals."
So nice. Yeah, there's a big warm spell going through the country right now. Enjoy it because I think rain's coming. But anyway, it's that time of year, right? It's the ups and downs. We enjoy the ups, we deal with the downs.
That's right. That's right.
All right, I'm gonna go a little off real quick because I know, again, this is supposed to be rapid fire, but I can't. I love that you are open to new opportunities. I was talking to a friend, so I had a birthday recently, and I told her, I was like, I cannot believe I am now mid 40s. And I said, I just don't feel like it. But I think a lot of it is the mindset, right? The ability or the willingness to learn new things and try new things and do new things and meet new people and just put yourself out there. Yeah.
It is true because I mean my mentor is eight is will be 80 this year and she's like gets on her bike every day. We have all these wonderful conversations. We're constantly texting each other back and forth. I'm like, I saw this on Instagram. What do you think? And then she'll send me some. Janet, I know it's about an hour, but I really think you would find this conversation interesting. So we're always doing things like that. And she's always doing new things as well. She's not stopped.
I think that's the key to staying young, really, is just keeping your mind open to new things and just be interested, right? Be interested.
And that's true. That's true. That is true. That is true. That keeps us young and youthful.
Yes, yes. I love that. So, all right. And then the third one, because I got a little off track there, the third one is, what's a goal you have for yourself this year?
I would like to walk across the Ben Franklin Bridge again. I did it once. I did it a few years ago, and I wanna do it again. It was walk and I actually twice because you walk to one side, which is Jersey, and then, of course, you gotta go back, and it was fun because it was a group of women, it's called Girl Trek, so we had our blue T-shirts on, we were just walking across, people were honking their horns, it was just really, really nice, and I wanna do that again.
That's cool. All right. So, is that just something you guys did together or was it an organized thing?
It's an organized thing. The reason Girl Trek was started was so women would could walk and not feel like they're walking alone so they could pair with each anytime, day or night. But yeah, and they just decided to plan it. They're like, let's just cross the bridge. I'm like, okay, I'm down.
I love it. I'll try something new. Let's do it. And now you want to do it again. I love that.
I want to do it again. I want to do it again.
Oh, that's so good. Awesome. Well, Janet, thank you so much for joining us today. The information on organizing and putting together systems, I think that's really going to help people understand where they can start and start to really make some great progress in their life. And hopefully they'll come check you out as well because you, my dear, are wonderful.
Thank you so much. I so enjoy being here, and I can't wait till we can be in person.
I know someday we're going to get in person. We're on opposite coasts, but someday we'll make it happen.
Yeah, something. Yeah, we're gonna make it happen somehow. Somehow.
Somehow, some way, we will. I love it. All right, Janet, have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye. That was a good one, right? One of my favorite things about this podcast, other than helping you listening make positive changes in your life, is getting to meet and chat with amazing people like Janet. I love to hear how others look at and approach decluttering and organizing. But I would love to hear your thoughts on this episode. What stuck out for you the most? I would love to know. So comment on this post on Instagram or send me a DM. I'm Wannabe Clutter Free on the social channels, or come on over to Facebook and we have a group over there. It's the Wannabe Minimalist Family Group. It's on Facebook and you can share with that private community. There will be a discussion thread for this episode and we'd love to chat with you in the comments. You can also leave a review on Apple Podcasts, a comment on this episode on Spotify, or a comment on YouTube. It's up to you. And remember, if someone who could use a little help with organizing or starting their journey, go ahead and share this episode with them. It might just be what they need to hear today, and it might be a great way for you to get an accountability buddy on your journey. And of course, special thanks to Janet for joining us on the show today and for sharing her amazing tips for getting organized and how we can incorporate decluttering and organizing together. And of course, that empathy moment of looking at respect and empathy for when we get our family on board. Remember, you can get more detailed show notes and all of her links by heading over to wannabeclutterfree.com/195. Again, that's wannabeclutterfree.com/195 to find out more about Janet. And as always, thank you for joining me today too. With that, I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you back here next week for a solo show. Until next time, take care, keep things simple, start where you're the most frustrated, and remember, I believe in you. I know that you can do this. I'm Deanna Yates, and you've been listening to Wannabe Clutter Free. I'll see you next week. Cheers.